Welcome back to the Church of Atheism podcast. We got a great show for you today. I know this for a fact because I've already listened to it. We've tried to do this episode twice before we actually got to this one. This is our third attempt at this. We had some technical difficulties, some that was a nightmare. That's why I haven't been really releasing anything this month yet because we've had some problems. But yeah, we're back. We got it recorded, got it edited. It is good to go. So without further ado, let's get to the episode. I just one of the biggest things that if you're listening to this, this is our third attempt, by the way. We've had some
Yeah.
technical issues recording the same episode 3 times. So
And so it's kind of interesting. Um, we've never had trouble on like this much trouble on one
Nah.
episode, let alone like
Twice.
I just have a feeling maybe if we would have changed topics and tried again with something else, it would have went okay.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
we're
It's like
cursed.
or maybe there's a sinister element at play.
Yeah, I think Elrod's floating around us right now, trying to fuck up our audio.
I think so.
Which
Was
that's one of the things I learned on trying to record it the first time is that he's actually from Nebraska.
Oh yeah, we talked. Yeah, we did mention that, and yeah, that's not something. That's something like like when I have a conversation about famous people who are from Nebraska. I've known that for like probably the
Years.
last like 15 years, and I just always leave that out.
I'm gonna start leading with it.
Yeah. Marlon Brando and Malcolm X. Those are my two. Those are the two, the ones I start off with.
Yeah.
Then I'll hit him with an obscure one like Neil Hefti, legendary jazz composer who did the Batman theme song.
Right.
That's a good one. That's a good one that people from Hastings don't even know.
Right. We actually talked about that our first episode, I think.
I think we did actually. I'll shoehorn that into conversation a lot.
Yeah. You have to
Yeah.
But there's only a handful of things from Nebraska. You have to really
Well, specifically Hastings, actually.
Right, right.
Hastings too. Yeah. So like that's
Him and
we had
Kool-Aid are like.
Which, when you think about it, Kool-Aid, like when you're of a certain age, there's no two things more synonymous with childhood than Kool-Aid and the Adam West Batman theme song.
Exactly. Unless your childhood sucked.
Yeah. So you should just kill yourself if you didn't experience those two things.
Yep. We don't need you.
I mean, it means if you're a millennial or whatever.
Do it quick.
Yeah. Unless you're one of the cool ones. Then you should just kill yourself. You know what? You should all just kill yourselves, just as a nature.
Yeah, unless Batman and Kool-Aid was your childhood. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Let's keep those guys alive.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that was one of the most interesting things. I never knew that, ever. And it was a little freaking, what's the word I'm looking for? Not freaked out, but, weirded out by it. I had no idea he was that close to our hometown.
Oh, yeah, that sucks. Yeah. Yeah, I never really looked in, I didn't read too much. I've read about him plenty, but mostly about his adult life. I never, read into how much time he spent here. I almost think it was almost like a Marlon Brando type situation where he was born here, and that was about it.
And never returned.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was an anchor baby in Nebraska. Nebraska anchor baby.
Yeah, and then what sucks when you think about it, because I always bring up Malcolm X. Maybe I shouldn't, because that actually makes sense. Or
Yeah.
it actually it's cool because he's iconic. He's a legendary American figure, but it's also because of the just probably awful racism he experienced living in Nebraska.
Right.
So maybe I shouldn't lead with that one from now on, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, when you think about it that way, there's not a lot of, not a lot of the big names came from tolerant places.
Maybe I should just lie and say that Denzel Washington was from Nebraska. Since he played Malcolm X.
Yeah.
I think that's how it works.
That's what we're gonna do from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Denzel Washington. Yeah, from Tilden.
Yeah, yeah. Movie Training Day actually takes place in Lincoln.
Yep.
No, I know it looks like Los Angeles, but it's not.
That's just Hollywood doing Hollywood things, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It's because it was cheaper to film in Hollywood. It actually
Yeah.
takes place not even in Lincoln, in one of the small suburbs.
Yep.
Fucking Training Day is a good movie. I would watch part of that. Like I caught like 5 minutes of that on TV. I was like, fuck, I need to watch that again. That was so good.
Yeah. It's been a long ass time for me too.
Yeah. You know what I think is actually a slightly better movie, and I don't think it's Christian Bale's best movie, but it's definitely like at least one of my favorites, which is it's called Harsh Times. It was
I've not seen it.
it was written by, I think it came out right after Batman, like right before Christian Bale got. I don't know, for some reason like hardly anyone's seen this movie, and it's written by the same guy who did Training Day, and it's fucking
Interesting.
awesome. Like Christian Bale comes back from like Afghanistan, and he's all fucked up in the head, and he goes back to his shitty LA neighborhood, and it's just kind of like 2 days in his life of doing just fucking shitty things with
Oh,
shitty people. It's so good.
I'll have to look into it.
There's this fucking part, and I just think about this all the time. Like they're about to buy some weed, and then uh, his friend's like, "What do you want? Like a dime? You want like a quarter?" He's like, "Nah, I want it all." And then they decide to rob him. Like, that's
Nice.
fucking yeah, that's fucking awesome. It's such a good movie. Yeah, I'd
Uh,
recommend that.
that's one way to do it.
Yeah, yeah. If you like Training Day, they're very
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it.
kind of similar tone. But see, here we go again. I don't know. We we were on topic for 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think I've hit record now 15 minutes ago, and I think we've talked about Scientology for about 10 seconds.
Yeah, it always like.
Yeah, what was the other thing that I found fascinating that we can just abbreviate a little bit? Uh, oh, the films I was watching on YouTube. They have a YouTube channel. It is,
Oh yeah.
it's like watching, how do I put this? It was like watching an infomercial at 3 a.m. And they were trying to not sell the product, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah, yeah.
they said the very like it was as cheesy as an infomercial and about as informative as like a Kleenex box. Like they really didn't talk about Scientology at all. Like what is Scientology? And then it showed like math, science, like all these like words that had nothing to do with anything whatsoever. Yeah,
Oh, that's hilarious.
that was my takeaway from the Scientology research I did.
Oh yeah, I bookmarked a few of those. I really still need to watch those. No, I was gonna say I was almost kind of glad that we didn't it didn't go over well, just because like this always seems to happen. We'll do a topic and then I'll read just a little bit more on it, and then I'm like, ah, shit. I wish I
Yeah,
would have known that. But
yeah.
one of the interesting things is I was earlier today. I was researching the actual cost of. Now I'm trying to think because this is kind of a lot of info. I'm almost trying to think of. Should I just tell people like what their mythology is? Because I just read it. It's fresh in my head.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, this is Scientology's origin story. So,
Section
um,
one.
yeah. So it all starts 75 million years ago. There was a galactic federation, basically like what Darth Vader was trying to do in Star Wars.
Right.
And it was led by Xenu.
Yes.
Um, Xenu is essentially like the emperor
Okay.
of. There's going to be a lot of Star Wars parallels, and keep in mind this was before at least Elron, beat George Lucas to this. This was actually before Star Wars.
Well, that's why Star Wars says a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Like this is actual
Mm. I
Scientology is Star Wars.
It honestly could be. Like, especially when you get to this bullshit prequels. Well, anyway, 75 million years ago, Xenu was in charge of a galactic federation, which is essentially, like the UN, but for other planets. And I think there are 80 planets in the Federation, and um, each planet was massively overpopulated. I think it said it had, I think there was 180 billion people per planet,
Nice.
and so Xenu was about to get overthrown. I don't know why it didn't say, and I'm like, honestly, I don't care why.
He shoplifted for all I give a fuck.
So, so yeah, he was gonna get overthrown, and right before he did that, and here's where it really they just dive into the lunacy. So like, I guess because to solve the overpopulation problem, which it wasn't his problem because he was being thrown out, so I don't know why that was necessary. But anyway, so he flew spaceships, which were this is according to the ancient Scientology text, the ancient text from the 60s.
Yes. The rare artifacts.
Yeah. This is recovered from an authentic artifact. But so he sent in these spaceships, which looked like DC-8 planes.
Okay, that's standard.
Yeah, it makes sense because that was the most modern type of plane they had in the 50s and 60s. And L. Ron Hubbard wasn't known for being a good science fiction writer, just a prolific one. So
yeah, he wasn't more. He was more. Not content. What's the word I'm looking for? God damn it! I always like interrupt when I have nothing to say.
he was a busy guy.
Yeah. Quantity over quality. There we go.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's a great way to describe his writing. Quantity over quality. And so, so anyway, he flew in these spaceships, which looked like DC-8s, but see, here's where his creativeness comes in. See, DC-8s have like propellers on them, because they're airplanes.
Right.
See, these spaceships didn't.
Ah.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah.
Such an imagination on this guy.
I know. So he used these planes to essentially, I guess, abduct most of the people on these planets. And he used some mixture of, oh, fuck, no, it gets even stupider. God, this is gonna happen a lot with this origin story, because I just keep remembering these tiny little details. So, in order to get the people in the same place at the same time, first of all, he had help from psychiatrists. That's how Xenu was able to formulate this plan, was with the help of psychiatrists.
Sounds legit.
Yeah, that's why they're so I guess so evil in, modern Scientology or whatever. So yeah, he had the help of psychiatrists, and then so this is the best part, I think. In order to get them at the same place at the same time so he could do a mass abduction, he had he staged like a false a false income tax hearing or something.
Nice.
Yeah, it was basically his way of vilifying the IRS and psychiatrists with one origin story.
Ooh.
Yeah, pretty clever.
Yeah.
So then he abducts these people.
It's not DC-8 without wings clever, but it's up there.
Yeah. So he abducts all these people and he traps their souls inside this like some sort of alcohol mixture, some sort of preservative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I follow. This totally adds up.
75 million years ago. They're using technology from 100 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So far, this all makes complete fucking sense.
Yeah. So he's got their souls, and then he took them to a planet called, okay, bear with me, I think it was called Cegiac or Gigiac. It's modern day Earth.
Oh, okay.
He took all the souls to modern day Earth. Then he scattered all these souls, the billions of them. There was like 100 some billion souls, I think, in total that he captured. And then he put them around the base of every major volcano on the planet. And then
Because that's what you do.
Yeah, exactly. Makes perfect. Not in the volcano, which would make sense when you hear his next step, which was to now that all the souls are around the base of the volcano, he dropped hydrogen bombs in every volcano and
Yeah.
basically vaporized all of them. Oh shit! No, I'm also fuck. Before that, he took these souls, which were now thetans.
Right.
That's what they are. And see, he basically put them in a, I think, 30-day sort of camp type thing where these souls would watch 3D movies.
Pigeon.
Yeah. 3D movies that it would have images of like the crucifixion, basically all the modern, or not modern religions, but all the ancient religions. That's where they came from.
Okay.
It was basically Xenu brainwashing these souls. That's why we have religion.
See,
Yeah.
now we have to go back and fix our "Why do people believe in God" episode.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, because I didn't know that Xenu just took a bunch of ghosts to the Cineplex and had them watch movies for 30 days. 3D too. That's pretty cool.
Now, did they stick them with popcorn prices? Like, were they expensive?
Knowing what I know about Scientology, I'm sure Xenu stuck the souls with the bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope you had fun. Here's your bill.
Yeah. So yeah, now that the souls are brainwashed, they don't know what's going on. Then he puts them in the volcanoes. Then he blows them up.
Okay.
Then they truly become thetans, and they're basically the thetans, I guess, are, I don't know, just kind of floating around Earth, and then they get trapped inside human bodies. And then that's where, like, I knew all this bullshit before, but it's like, this is kind of where it gets confusing, like,
This
because
is the part.
Because when you do auditing sessions, I don't know if you're trying to, like, I think you're trying to rid the body of thetans, or you're trying to harness the thetans in some way.
Maybe you're like trying to be at peace with your thetan.
Yeah. Because like, because I thought the idea, like, I always thought that auditing sessions were to rid your body of thetans, but then I thought the whole concept was that, like, you're trying to recondition your brainwashed thetan level.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah. So,
Your
and then
brainwashed thetan level who survived the volcanic nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
Just to recap really quick.
I did not realize when trying to recap that story how much, like, notes with pictures would have helped, because God, that was confusing.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to do some artwork for this episode.
Yeah. Oh, you know what was great? I googled Xenu, and then the first picture that popped up was from the South Park episode.
Yes.
So that made me pretty happy.
What would
And
happen
then,
if Scientology took over like the Islam rule that you couldn't draw Xenu?
yeah, I honestly think that might sort of be a rule,
Nice.
because I don't think, I'm probably wrong about this, but I don't think L. Ron Hubbard ever drew Xenu. Actually, I think I am wrong about that. But I just know that, like, there was some sort of news organization in, like, the 90s who made like an expose about Scientology, and they made Xenu origin story, and they drew a yeah, they tried to animate the Xenu origin story, and Scientology tried to sue the shit out of them for likeness rights.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
Saying that
so
they didn't have permission to use the source material.
all right, so we won't draw pictures then. Actually, we
Yeah,
probably could
yeah,
because, dude, I'm not an artist by any stretch of the imagination.
yeah. If I draw him, I'm gonna draw him with dick out. Just a giant dong.
Like, what is Xenu? Is it like, isn't he just like a spirit or some shit? Like, with a human like penis?
Yeah. Who's the stick figure with a giant penis? Why is
Oh,
that the only part? It's three-dimensional.
that's Xenu.
Yeah, that's the power of Xenu. I'm an agent of Xenu.
Oh man, yeah, that's quite the. And I was thinking about this too, just not long ago. About if you are a Christian who's listening to this, going, man, Scientology is fucked up. Just remember that you guys have a boat that survived a 40-day flood built by a
That
900-year-old drunk man.
that is true.
Just pointing that out there really quick.
Although I gotta be honest. Like I got into one of my friends like a long time ago. He absolutely hates Christianity, and I don't know why it bothered me. Like, because he didn't seem to hate any other religions. It's like, well, why don't you at least be fair and spread it out.
Right.
Like I never understood like his because I don't think his parents ever made him go to church or anything. Like
Right.
he doesn't have that reason. But we were like arguing, and he's like, "Oh, really? Is Scientology really dumber than Christianity?" I'm like, "By a fucking
Yo,
mile."
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, 100%.
I'm not saying they're equal. I'm just pointing out that yours
Yeah.
isn't exactly foolproof either.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
no, no.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like you got no room to talk.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Unless you're a 900-year-old drunk man who just built a boat that can survive a 40-day trip with all the animals,
Yeah, yeah.
then you can talk all you want.
God, I was watching. Like right before we were talking. I was watching on. They're playing all the Treehouse of Horror Simpsons episodes, which are always
Nice.
great.
Yeah.
But there was one where like there was a zombie one, and they found out that Bart was like immune to the zombie virus. So the survivors were all gonna eat him, and then to get the cure. And then Lisa was like, "What kind of group of or what kind of civilized people eat the flesh of their own savior?" And then like they showed the Reverend like looking around all nervously, like pulling on his collar. So funny.
Oh, the Simpsons always like. I feel like they always hit the nail right on the head.
But yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so funny. Oh man. Oh yeah. So one of the interesting things I just found out like within the last couple days was I was kind of what I really wanted to do because with Scientology, because yeah, we're probably gonna have to revisit this topic. I think we kind of decided that more or less last time. There's
Yeah,
just too
yeah.
much here to. But like one thing I was trying to find, but I just like I'm like it's kind of I don't know. But I was trying to find out exactly because we mentioned when we were attempting this before, we mentioned like the cost of Scientology.
Yeah.
And I actually finally found like reliable numbers from former Scientologists too. So like,
Nice.
um, so for those of you that don't know, with Scientology there are basically different levels. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else in religion would compare to that. I mean, nothing that I can think of to be
Not
honest.
really.
No, but like, so you do these auditing sessions. Oh, and then as of 3 years ago, you know what the price of a brand new e-meter is? And for the folks at home,
I actually do, but go ahead.
yeah, that's awesome. For the
Oh,
folks at home, the e-meter is I don't know, it's a fucking box with wires attached to it, and attached to the wires are two handles. You hold on to it. It's sort of like a lie detector test without that level of functionality. But so the last I looked, brand new e-meter in 2015 cost $6,000.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know that because I was looking for an e-meter app on my phone, and I couldn't believe that between Google Play Store and Apple Store, there's no good e-meters out there.
It's like my grandma always says, it's just hard to find a good e-meter these days.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I remember your grandma saying that, and I always thought that was kind of weird. But
Yeah, me too.
I was a little bit like rude, be like, man, your grandma's talking about weird shit, huh?
And then, like, yeah, and then years later, her obsession with Top Gun and the Mission Impossible movies all
All
makes
made
sense.
sense.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah, well, yeah. So, like, I'm trying to think of how to explain. Well, okay, yeah. So, for Scientology, when you're a member, when they make you, like in the mafia, except it's not that cool.
Yeah.
Like when you get when you're a member, you got to kill a guy to become.
Yeah.
You have to be sponsored by a current member of Scientology, and then you have to whack the guy.
At least one.
Yeah, that's how you become a Scientologist. Blood in, blood out.
Exactly.
Which, you know what? Honestly, not far from the truth. Like, granted, you don't have to kill, but if you do try and leave, like, they will ruin
will
your
follow
life.
you, yeah.
They'll try to. But, like, so anyway, in Scientology, there's different tiers, basically. So, like, and really what it comes down to is these tiers. I mean, really, it's just how much money you've given them. But officially, to them, it's like, I guess it's sort of like Buddhism. Like, it's sort of different stages of enlightenment, I guess is the
Right.
best comparison I could make. And then in OT3 though. OT3 that's the big one. Not many people make it to that. And that is when you actually find out about the Xenu story. So what I just told you guys, don't tell anyone.
Yeah, it's worth a lot of money.
Yeah, do not tell. Yeah, you guys got to promise not to tell anyone, because unless you're OT3.
Right.
So yeah, like OT1. I don't really know how else to explain it. It's just bullshit. It's courses, basically. Those are different courses. You have to pay money.
The dude we watched on Rogan's podcast, what was his name?
Ron Miscavige.
Yeah, he's the son of like the leader right now.
Yeah, Dave. Yeah,
And what fascinated me most about that, talking about OT1, is like he was saying that first level, if they just kept it to that, it would be the world's best like self-help group ever.
yeah,
It's a lot of
yeah.
stuff about like how to become a better person in the sense of like better communication skills, like become a better you basically. And it's effective.
Yeah, like I'm actually really glad that we both watched that, because it really does. It's really easy to say, like, what are you, fucking stupid? How could you get involved with something like that? But when you actually listen to somebody kind of tell their story and how it happens, like, it
It makes
does
sense.
make sense, and you really do get like some empathy for these people.
Yeah. At least gives them like credibility on the fact that oh, I get it now.
Yeah, because it's like the way he kind of explained it, and the way I've heard it explained by other people is like, yeah, it's like the beginning stages of Scientology are really, yeah, like self-help, confidence building things that do work.
Right. And so when you're out in the public and you're like using these methods and techniques and they're working, you then like almost like want to thank Scientology because they've given you
Yeah.
a different lifestyle in a short term.
Well, because like one of the best, probably the best example of that, which probably the most famous would be like John Travolta,
Right.
because like he got like Welcome Back Kotter, and he was like, I mean, yeah, like he was really young, but he was like, pretty much gave his life to acting right away, and it wasn't working out. And then like he kind of got involved with Scientology, and then like he got Welcome Back, Kotter, which was a huge show at the time.
Yep.
I mean, people still they still show it's
Oh
still in
yeah.
syndication. And then like after that, so it's like that happens around the same time he's taking these self-help courses. He's probably feeling better about himself, and then like around that time also he gets that part in Greece, and
That was it.
then all of a sudden he's one of the most famous people in the
Yeah.
country.
Yeah.
And like he absolutely has said that he thanks Scientology for that. Like he totally
That makes so much sense.
yeah.
After hearing Niskovich talk.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, it makes total sense. And it's like that's obviously an extreme example of
Right.
like not everyone's going to be like an almost billionaire
Right,
movie
exactly.
star playboy, but like that's a good example. I mean, people are still going to see that and be influenced.
Yeah. And like it almost works to its own advantage when you think about it. Like Scientology wants you to become a better person and better at communicating all that stuff. So then you can make more money on your own, and then you can make more money for the church.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. And then like you said, like yeah, kind of they do. I mean, that is like that is classic cult behavior, which is like, well, actually no, because classic cult behavior is usually to break you down and make you
Right.
feel worthless. And that is kind of an interesting approach, I guess, to having a cult, is that Scientology goes for the opposite.
Right.
But then they go for the opposite, and then when you're in, then they kind of do like they cut you off from your outside life, and
Yeah.
they do all that shit.
Yeah. It starts to kick in eventually.
Yeah. So like, yeah. So right away, so like, yeah, I was reading about the costs, and right away, the first thing you do is pay for like, well, your first, much like a good crack dealer, your first hit's free.
Yep.
They'll usually give you like a free auditing session, which is essentially sort of like a therapy session. They
Yep.
get probably some of their most skilled, people persons as Scientology recruiters, and yeah, it is sort of like a therapy session. And then after that, you do a couple more sessions, which is usually about $35 a piece, which doesn't
Not
seem like
bad.
much. That's cheaper than most actual therapists.
Yeah.
And then they start to hook you in. Then you need to buy the books,
Yep.
and in total you need like 12 books, and those cost I think about a few grand when it's all said and done.
Sounds about right.
And then so okay, anyway, so like if you really want to hear the origin story about Xenu, which I mean, yeah, I just told it, but yeah, the Dave Miscavige could probably tell it better. So let's say you want to hear it from him. You're like, all right, well, how much is that going to cost me? So in 2015, I compared probably like 3 different people's estimates, and to get to OT3, you will have spent $80,000.
How much?
280,000.
Jesus.
Yeah, little over a quarter mil just to get to that point. That's like that number I believe is like pretty much, that's why it kind of varies, because that's about the cost of everything that you
Right.
would have spent. And then like, depending on who it is, maybe I don't know, maybe this Scientology group won't have you do like the extra 12 hours of whatever sessions that cost you $4,000 or,
Right. But that
Yeah.
ballpark.
Yeah. Roughly over $250,000. If you're going to hear the origin story of Xenu, it's going to cost you $250,000. But not only that, we're talking like you're probably going to be in there for years. Because
Yeah.
another thing I learned is that see, Scientology is always updating and updating their scripture or whatever you want to call it.
Like any good
Like,
religion does.
yeah, they'll like update their courses. So when they update it, guess what? You have to take it again, and guess what? It's not going to be free. So it's like,
Not
let's
a
say
scam.
you do the OT fucking 2 course, and then they change something on there. Well, you got to pay for that again. Oh, and then also, because they're pretty, like, the higher they go, obviously, the more rigorous of courses. I don't know exactly what you have to do to complete it. I didn't look into it that far. I am kind of curious, but like, like, let's say, oh, I can't remember how much the individual like OT3 course is. Let's just say I'm just making this up. Let's say it costs $100,000. So you pay $100,000 up front, then you take the course.
Oh,
Then
nice.
you might fail, and you probably there's a good chance you will. And then so you fail that, then you have to pay them again and retake it. You basically have to
Jeez.
pay, yeah. You have to pay and you have to retake the course until you get it right.
Yeah. It's like a legit thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's all I got. I got a few yeahs in there.
So yeah, we were yeah, the other thing is that anyone listening, I definitely recommend listening to uh there is a lot of interviews with former Scientologists. You could take your pick. The Leah Remini show is pretty good. I actually,
Yeah.
between the last time we tried to record and now, I watched like a couple of those, and yeah, they were pretty fucking good. I didn't realize. Oh man, they had her hooked.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a while since I saw that. Well, I watched it when it first came out, and it was fucking fascinating, man.
Mm-hmm.
What's even
Yeah.
more fascinating is like that she got away from it after being hooked that hard, you know?
Well, yeah, and she'd been in it. I'm pretty sure her parents got her in it. I
Yeah.
think. So that means she's either been in it for life or probably most of her life, and
Yeah.
that's another thing people don't understand is that like if you're born into something, fucking the
I can't.
chances of you. Mm,
I can't blame anyone born into that, or any cult for that matter. Like, you can't
yeah,
blame those people.
yeah. If you're born into any sort of religion, lifestyle, or whatever, your chances of getting out are just decreased to
Yeah.
significantly less.
Well, I mean, consider how many atheists there are that used to be Christians. You know, like, that in itself isn't a big number. You know, once you're born into religion, you're pretty much kept in religion. And now
Yeah.
imagine if you were into cult or something that, like, restrictive. Of course it's going to be more difficult to get out of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, and then there is the that brings me to Scientology's disconnection policy, which is it is a policy, and yeah, that's it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, that's gonna be the show, folks. No, but
And
like,
that's a wrap.
it's like what any good cult will do, which is, um, so let's say my wife. No, you know what? We're progressive. Let's say my husband.
All right. I
Well,
like
yeah.
it.
Let's say my trans husband, who was a woman, but then got turned into a man, then got the surgery reversed, then got turned back into a man. So double trans.
Right.
So
That's how open minded we are.
yeah, exactly. We're talking about surgeries that haven't even been invented yet. That's how
Nope.
progressive. We're so progressive we see into the future.
Not only are we like progressive, we're ahead of the fucking curve, you know?
Yep. Oh, did I mention that she's whatever. So let's say my wife husband thing like decides to leave. Typically what'll happen is I'll divorce him or her.
Right.
Like very rarely will a couple leave Scientology together. Very rarely will like parents and kids both get out. Like well, like the example that was Ron Miscavige, and I guess I guess I should do a little background. So Ron Miscavige is the father of Dave Miscavige. Dave Miscavige he's been in Scientology since he was, I mean, you know,
7, wasn't it?
yeah. I mean, you know, too young to really remember a life outside of it. And so around the 80s, I think like the mid 80s or so, he worked his way up in the Scientology ranks, and after being L. Ron Hubbard's like right hand guy for years, he's flat out took over Scientology. Not only that, but Dave Miscavige did something that L. Ron Hubbard tried his whole life to do, never could, which is Dave Miscavige somehow got tax exempt status, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And like I read into that, and like, oh yeah.
I need to look into that for the Church of Atheism too. I wonder how much that would piss off Christians if I got tax exempt status.
Oh, that would rule. Just write off everything.
Yep. I'm a church, actually, so no taxes, please.
And I mean, I don't see why not. Like, how could like Billy Graham, you know, live in a mansion?
Yeah.
Fucking drive Cadillac. Who was the asshole that like during like the hurricanes?
Joel Osteen.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. God, fucking piece of shit.
I've got this mansion of a fucking church, but I'm not gonna open the doors.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's fucking bragging about the gigantic mega church, one of the biggest churches that's ever been constructed in this country. And he's bragging all to everybody about it, and then the hurricane happens, and he's like, "No, I don't want the hurricane refugees in here." No.
Yeah. Well, he later said it was because part of it was flooding, which is like bogus. You could still fit 50,000 people into the part that wasn't flooding.
Yeah. And I'm sure what that meant was that someone was stuffing paper towels in the toilet and it overflowed.
Can't have people inside now. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hunt.
Yeah. Shit. God. So, I lost my train of thought. Talking about.
How Miscavige. Yeah, status. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot where I was going before that. Whatever. Who cares?
Fuck him.
But yeah, I think I was gonna get into Operation Snow White. I mean, we gotta at least bring that up. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So like, it says at the time, and I looked into it a little bit. I can't fucking think of anything that was bigger than this. But anyway, so L. Ron Hubbard, you know, he and there are documents saying that like he had a correspondence to a friend, and in the correspondence he was like basically said we need to start a religion because that's where the real money's at. I'm paraphrasing, but really not by much from what I remember. But so yeah, obviously he was in it for the money from the beginning, so he tried to get tax exempt status to the point where he pretty much went to war with like the IRS. Like it became Scientology's and the IRS's goal of basically destroying each other. And so I think it was in it was in the late 70s, I think, right? But anyway, so Scientology managed the largest government infiltration ever pulled off, ever.
Yeah.
Well,
This is so fucked up, man.
yeah, I couldn't believe. At first, yeah, I thought like so. Yeah, they bribed people in the IRS. They primarily targeted the IRS, but reading into it further, they had people in government offices in other countries. They had people in like various government offices, not only the IRS, but yeah, like they bribed people, they blackmailed, they flat out planted moles basically. Yeah, they like planted people in the IRS and had them work their way up. And I don't really. Yeah, maybe on the next Scientology episode, I should just research the shit out of this because I kind of want to know how. I want to know all the details about it
Yeah,
because
that's
it's
not a
crazy.
bad idea. We can do the nutshell case of it now.
Yeah, yeah. But basically, they pulled off what like the Soviets would have killed for, and yeah, and that's like, and not only that, like, L. Ron Hubbard's own wife ended up being indicted. L. Ron Hubbard was named um, as an unindicted co-conspirator, but somehow he managed to never see any jail time, which you could reach your own conclusions about that. He's got $1 billion and
Yeah.
didn't do jail time, and his fucking wife did. So it really says a lot about who he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, that's Operation Snow White.
Why?
Yeah, the largest government infiltration ever perpetrated, and it was done like to Americans by Americans, which is crazy.
Yep.
Like that's something that the mafia had tried to do. That's something that the Soviet Union tried to do, and who knows what other
Oh
like
yeah.
what other
China.
like oh yeah, what other government agencies around the world tried to do that. None of
Yeah.
them succeeded except L.
Scientology.
Ron Hubbard.
Nebraska, great.
Yeah, Nebraska's own.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to do a second episode to get to the mostly just about that because just looking into it really quick now, I'm finding a whole bunch of random wormholes that can go down. So
Yeah, yeah. This is
yeah, that literally happened. It's not something that was like going to happen. It happened,
yeah.
and
People got
no one know
indicted
about
for
it.
it. Yeah, that's like they're like at this point, a lot is known about Scientology, and like how that never seems to come up is just crazy to me.
Crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Operation Freakout comes from that. Yeah, we'll definitely have to do a second episode on just the
Yeah,
on that Snow White Operation Snow White.
yeah. Because I imagine like I don't know, like I mean, to do something that big is nearly impossible.
Yeah.
Because that's why, and we've covered this on the show. That's why you could pretty much rule out most conspiracy theories by the fact that there's too many people involved.
Right.
And that really is like, granted, I mean, they did all get caught, but that is pretty crazy.
Yeah, they had so many and it was so effective. They
The
got deep
fact,
enough.
yeah, the fact that they were able to get that far.
Right.
Because, like, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. Because, like, for a lot of those people, I don't know. See, this is, like, kind of the weird thing that I think about with Scientology and, like I guess like the enforcers, like the people who do like sick shit, like um, I don't know, almost let Dave Miscavige's father die of a heart attack.
Yeah.
we'll have to get into that in a second. But it's like I don't know. The crazy like what I think about is like how many of these people are in it for the money, and how many of these people believe in what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like we were saying, I think Travolta probably believes all of it.
Yeah, I think Tom Cruise,
Tom
thousand
Cruise, I believe
percent,
too. Yeah.
100% believes in it.
Yep.
Yeah, but then like it's just crazy. Like but then you have like the low level people. Like yeah, I don't know. Like they
Oh,
really.
I feel like there's a lot of them, quite a few of them,
Hmm.
who know goddamn well it's bullshit. They're just like, here, pay me.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's like with the any sort of dangerous organization. I just in my mind it always goes to The Sopranos because I'm obsessed with that show. But like it's like there's the whole like Godfather myth around the mob of like loyalty and respect, and then you watch The Sopranos, which is way more realistic, and then you're like, no, it's about the money.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like they pretend to believe in their bullshit, and then I don't know, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird because
I
like
mean, the same could probably be said for a lot of priests. Do you really think every priest in America really believes the shit he's saying?
yeah, or like maybe a lot of people realized it's pretty much permanent job security.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Hell, you could even molest children and keep your fucking job.
And if you do lose your job, they'll write you a nice letter to Walt Disney World so you can work there instead.
Yeah, yeah. Worst case scenario, you're gonna get transferred.
Right.
Which reminds me, yeah, you definitely. Oh man, the new season of South Park. There's only been three so far, and they've been phenomenal. But the second one was a Catholic priest's episode,
Nice.
and it's like they started to go somewhere, and then I don't know. At the very beginning of the episode, they took a hard turn. I'm like, oh fuck, this did not go. This went, yeah, it didn't go where I thought it was gonna go, and it made it even better.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I have to watch that later tonight.
Oh, apparently the Catholic Church was not happy about that.
What?
It was, yeah, it was, without ruining anything for you, it was heavy on the molesting aspect. So, could be
Wow.
why.
I
And
mean,
when
to
I
be
say,
fair, did South Park have to go there, you know?
yeah, when I say heavy on the molesting aspect, I mean to the point where it was fucking disgusting at some point. Like, I don't know, like, I'm kind of starting to wonder, like, if maybe they are just trying to like get cans. I think like it is so obvious that they really really hate all like the way the PC thing has become like the hip thing in the world of comedy.
Yeah,
Like it's so they are like biting back on that harder than like I thought they would. And it's
that's
just
amazing.
made yeah, it's made for like just such a solid, you know, season so far. Yeah, they really doubled down on the offensiveness.
So they're basically crossing the line and then dragging it another 50 feet.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful. I'm gonna
And
have to start
then
watching them again.
yeah, the end of every episode so far, like they do the credit scene, except in the background, it's a thing that says like hashtag cancel South Park. So it's like I'm kind of starting to wonder if they're like after like 20 years, because it's 20 years I think this year. Maybe it's been 20 years, but anyway, I'm starting to wonder if maybe they're either sick of it or they're just basically like saying like, yeah, get me fired, I dare you.
Right, exactly.
Because that's what like the cool thing is if somebody says something offensive, that's the first thing they do is
Yep,
try and get them fired.
I love that. Either way, I love it.
And so I feel like yeah, I feel like that's probably their way of being like we're
Bring
South.
it, bitches.
Yeah, we made this channel. We made Comedy Central. You can't fucking fire us.
Yep. Yeah, what would Comedy Central do without South Park?
Yeah, because like the reason people watched it was because of Mystery Science Theater. And then around the time that got canceled was when South Park came on. So if it wasn't for those two shows,
Yeah.
it probably wouldn't even be a network. Oh wait, no. Wait, did it move? Yeah, no, it moved to Sci-Fi. Then
Yeah.
Sci-Fi canceled it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fucking stupid too.
Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder if it was just because Sci-Fi had more money. Because like the shitty thing about that show was that like the more popular it became, then like like all the people who own the rights to these shitty movies, they're like, oh well, we know people watch Mystery Science Theater, so they would charge silly amounts of money just knowing that that was a popular show.
Right.
That's the only reason that it got was actually the ratings had always been good,
You just couldn't
but
afford it anymore.
no, yeah, it got to the point where they like simply like the people were asking too fucking much.
Jesus.
Yeah, so it was like, yeah, in a weird way, it was just like too good of a show. It was like a victim of its own success, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah,
Which
that's
actually is
crazy.
yeah, I guess if you're in like any sort of show business, that would be the best reason to end your
Yeah.
career.
Yeah.
It's like,
We were
well,
too successful.
yeah, well, I was too good at my job. They had to get rid of me.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
No. I was talking about how I don't remember who it even was. I was talking to someone about how you and I should unionize, fucking podcast union.
Yes.
And then my friend quickly pointed out that it's like, yeah, who are you going to unionize against? Because, podcasts are self-employed. I'm like, oh, yeah, huh. Well,
Tell that person to mind their own business. If we
yeah,
want to fucking unionize, we're gonna unionize.
I guess internet service providers.
Yeah. Yeah. You know,
Yeah,
it's not his podcast. You
that's
know.
right. We'll unionize against whoever. I'm lo- Buddy, I'm looking for a reason to unionize. That's what I said.
Exactly. March around my own computer and like
Yeah,
higher wages, less work.
picket your router.
Yeah, I'll learn them.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, this low speed has got to go.
Gonna make that video a thing now.
Yeah,
What do we want? Faster speeds.
yeah, when do we want it now?
Now. Maybe one way to do it, I guess.
I think half of what we do here is come up with different ways you can be committed.
Yeah, pretty sure. Pretty sure that's an accurate assessment.
Because, yeah, if it doesn't devolve into, like, music and movies, then it's bizarre scenarios that end up just only in a mental institution.
What's he in for? He created a union and went on strike against his router for about 3 days.
Yeah, union. He's here because it was a hunger strike and he almost died.
What's he protesting? Himself.
Yeah.
his own podcast.
Yeah. That'd be great. Picket your own podcast.
And that's going to do it for another episode of the Church of Atheism. Thank you again so much for listening. We really do appreciate all the love, all the retweets, the shares, everything going on. We're kind of happy to see this thing grow a little bit. We're looking at the numbers the last few months, and it's kind of taking off, and we really do appreciate everyone listening. You guys can help us out grow even more if you would like to share the episode, if you enjoyed it. If you don't enjoy it, don't share it, you know what I'm saying? If it's like, I just wasted an hour of my life, I don't expect you to share that. I wouldn't either. But if you're enjoying it, if you're having a good time listening, show your friends, They want to see it too, or hear it. Can't really see it. It's not a video podcast. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. We will talk to you next time.